Yo, what's up guys? My name is JT and we're going to take a look at the new Rapido BiLevel commuter cars right here on model Railroading Southwest. Don't forget to get $10 off your next order of $50 or more on trains.com. That's trains with a Z. So these new Rapido BiLevel commuter cars are the newest release from Rapido, and man, I am really excited to get into this box. I have not opened it just yet, and that is because I wanted to film the intro before I started pulling this all apart and having to put it all back together for the video. So these are painted in the Railrunner scheme. Now, the Railrunner, if you don't know about it, it is in New Mexico, and it is a commuter service that goes from Santa Fe all the way to Belen. It is a beautiful paint scheme, one of my most favorite ones in the United States. The second one is probably the one in Texas. Now, that one's a beautiful, beautiful paint scheme. Now, this is going to be a really cool video because it is the first Rapido car that I've ever had. I don't have any sort of Rapido models, so this will really test and tell me if Rapido is really worth it. Now, I'm pretty sure it is. Everybody loves Rapido, but like I said, I've never had one before. So these cars have lights, and they are very, very well detailed. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and compare these to the Athearn BiLevel cars, and we're going to see what the differences are between these ones and those ones. So let's go ahead and take these over to the bench and check it out. So here we have the box that they come in. It really is just a sleeve that holds all three of them in there, and you just go ahead and slide them out just like so. So we'll take a look at all three of them right now inside their boxes. So here they are. So let's go ahead and open up the cab car and check it out. So let's go ahead and open up the cab car. So this packaging is typical, which you'd find with most manufacturers these days. It has the clamshell packaging, as you can see there. Here we have a bunch of paperwork, as you can see. Let's go ahead and pull that out. It's kind of stuck to the packaging. Here we have a small pamphlet for the lighting and the DCC programming if you wish to install your own decoder, because this one does not have a decoder. It has a 21-pin connector, and it also has a speaker installed, so that's pretty nice. Here are some stickers that are pretty nice. A nice little addition that Rapido decided to add. Those are nice stickers. Here's an exploded parts diagram. And over here is a small brochure of some information on how to work on your model, and a little bit of information and warranty information as well. So over here what you'll find is this shell that you need to remove, or a case, and then the side you'll find an alternative bell if the one you find on your model is the incorrect one. Over here is a small 21-pin connector. I'm guessing it's a dummy plug. I'm not exactly sure what it's for. If you guys know what it's for, please let me know, because typically dummy plugs are inside the engine or inside the model already. Here's a small wand which is used to turn on the lights. So you just kind of like wave it over certain parts of the model to turn on the lights. So I'll demonstrate that later. In order to open it up, you just pop open this portion right here, and there it is. There is the model. Let's go ahead and check this out. Well, yeah, definitely that is a gorgeous model. Let's go ahead and put this on the Lazy Susan and check it out. See, here we have all three models sitting on the Lazy Susan right now, and I'm really excited because these are some really good looking models, and I'm excited to, really look at them and get in depth. Now, one thing I wanted to point out is that the other two cars that I opened up, they both have wands in them. So you get a total of 3 light wands, and also they have all the same paperwork as the first one, so you get all the stickers again and all the exploded diagrams and all that stuff as well. One other additional detail piece that was found in both of the other cars is that it came with a Sinclair antenna, but you will have to drill in to the model itself if you want to install that. So, I don't know. I'm probably not going to do that. I'll probably just leave them the way they are right now. So here we have the cab car. Now, if you're not familiar with commuter trains, this is where the engineer would sit if the train was going in the reverse direction. In there you'd find a seat, throttle, reverser, controls for the bell and the horn, and controls for the locomotive. On top of here, you'll find that there's a nicely done horn and also a nicely done bell, which in fact is the correct model for this model, so it's nice I don't have to change it out. Right below there, you'll find a crisp decal that says Railrunner. On either side, you'll find that there are some number boards that are nice and crisp, and right below that, there are some nicely done grab irons. Right below those grab irons, you'll find that there are two windscreens with two nicely done windshield wipers. Over the door, you'll find that there's a diaphragm. It is made out of plastic, not rubber, which is nice because sometimes rubber will warp and get dry. This is nice that it's just plastic. You don't have to worry about any of that. On either side, you'll find that there are some class lights, and also there are some some ditch lights on either side as well. Right below the ditch lights, you'll find that there are some receptacles for MU hoses, and right below the coupler, you'll find that there are some brake lines as well, and a nice looking snowplow. This model, all of these models come with metal couplers. They're not KDs, but they're pretty nice and they'll hold up pretty well, I think. Let's take a look at the side. So as we take a look at this angle of the model, you'll find that there are some nicely done grab irons down the side there, along with a nicely done separately applied mirror. If you look up here, you'll find that there is a nice matched Edel grill you can see directly in there, which is pretty nice. Now up here, you'll find that there are some nicely done lift rings, and I think you can see it from this angle, and there is that nice Sinclair antenna. Now down here, you'll see that the trucks are pretty nicely done, and you'll find that there is a nice disc for the brakes, which does move with the wheel, and it's not stationary, which is nice. It makes it look more realistic. So as we take a look at the side of the model, I wanted to point out that the interior is fully done. Even the seats match what you'd find inside of the prototype. It's incredible. The windows are all tinted, which look nice because those are what you'd find on the prototype. Now, the entire interior is lighted with LEDs, and you'll see that now. Now, let's take a look at some of the decals on the model itself. So as we take a look to the right of this door, you'll find that there are some decals there. They look great, mostly legible under magnification. There are a few words that look slightly smudged, but they look great nonetheless. If you look below the door, you'll see that there is a step there. It is not etched metal. It is made out of plastic, but it fooled me at first. I thought they were etched metal. They look great. So let's go ahead and take a look at another portion of the model. So as we take a look at the back of the car, you'll notice that the diaphragm is about the same as the front one. It is made out of plastic, not rubber, like I mentioned before. Also, there are some grab irons on either side and a nicely done door handle. Underneath there, you'll find that there are some nicely done decals that are very crisp with the road number. And also down underneath, you'll find that there are some receptacles for the MU cables, along with the coupler cut bar and some brake hoses, along with the same metal coupler. Not much is different on this side of the model, which is the engineer's side. It looks great. You know, the same decals are here on the doors as well, and there are some nice etched metal grills there as well. This is a great looking model so far. We'll take a quick look at the other cars and see how they look. So if you look at this end of the model, you'll notice it's pretty much the same as the other one. You'll have the same MU receptacles, the Cutler cup bar, and also the brake hoses. Let's go ahead and take a look at the side. As we take a look at the side of the model, it's pretty much the same as the cab car. You'll have the same decals, you'll have the same steps, you'll have the same etched metal grills on the top portion. It's a great looking model. Let's go ahead and show you the roof of the models itself to show you some of the details that I found there. So as we take a look at the undercarriage of the model, you'll notice that it's finely detailed. You'll find that there are two air tanks here and there. Also, there's some nice piping and some conduit. And also you'll find that there are those steps, and you can see that they're see-through, which is very nice. You'll notice that the trucks are well detailed as well, even underneath. So on the roof, you'll notice that there are some nice details on top of this Rapido model. You'll notice that there are two see-through fans with etched metal grills on top of them. Also, you'll find the Sinclair antenna there, along with these decals on both sides right here. Both decals are somewhat legible. They're a little bit shoddy on some parts of it, but it's nice that they actually added it to the model. So if you were to look at both the Athearn and the Rapido side by side, there are not a lot of big differences. Now, there are subtle differences that I'll point out now. The first thing is that the horn on the Rapido looks much better than that on the Athearn, You can see that you can look down into that trumpet on the Rapido. On the Athearn you cannot. The bell on the Rapido is the correct bell, the one on the Athearn is not. Now all the decals there are nice and crisp, and so is the paint. It looks good. Now the number boards are nicely done and they're nice and crisp. None of the lights on the Athearn work. The Athearn is not supplied with lights whatsoever, but they have nice little jewels on them to make them appear as they were to light up. Now underneath the car body, or underneath the body of the car, you'll see that the details are much nicer on the Rapido. The Rapido does have the coupler cut bar and also the brake lines and a very nice looking plow, which seems to be separately applied. The one on the Athearn, it's slightly less detailed, but it does not have the brake hoses, although it does have these small cables for the MU receptacles. Now the plow on the Athearn is not separately applied, but it looks okay. It doesn't look too bad. You'll notice that there are separately applied windshield wipers on the Athearn version. Now the diaphragm doesn't look so great. On the Rapido you can see that there are ribs on the diaphragm. This one does not have the ribs on the diaphragm on the Athearn. But nonetheless, the Athearn looks really good regardless. It's a great looking model. It just doesn't have quite the detail that the Rapido does. So let's take a look at the side. So if you were to look at both models from this angle, there are subtle differences between both the Athearn and the Rapido. The first thing that I wanted to point out is if you look down at the wheels and the trucks on both models, both have a simulated brake disc and caliper. Now the Athearn, it's nice that they attempted to do it. It's nice that it looks like there is a disc there and a caliper. But the Rapido looks much better, but it's nice that Athearn even attempted to do that. Another thing that I wanted to point out is in this area of the model, this one has the etched metal grille. The Athearn does not, but it looks nice. It looks like you can see in there, except you can't. Now at this angle, I think you can see it. Now, the whole side of the Athearn has rivet detail along the entire side of the model. The Rapido does not. Now I looked at multiple pictures before I reviewed these cars. The Railrunner, the prototype, does not have all that rivet detail. There's some rivets in some portions of the model, but for the most part it is completely smooth. So the Rapido in turn is more prototypical than that of the Athearn. So that's pretty nice that, Rapido went through the trouble of, making it prototypical compared to what the Athearn is. So at this angle you can see that there are subtle differences between both models. The first being that the door on the Rapido is more recessed than that on the Athearn. Also, the Rapido does have the step to get into the model. The Athearn does not. Now, if you were to look to the side of the door, the decals are very similar to each other and they're both to the same caliber. You can really actually read them and they're nice. A big difference between both models is that the interior of the Rapido is much more prototypical than that of the Athearn. Now, the Rapido has the cream colored sides of the seats with the red inlay. Now, the Athearn, they're just all red. Now, it's nice that Athearn did include an interior on their car as well, rather it just being an open car. So if you really wanted to light your Athearn cars, it would look pretty nice. So at this angle, you can see that there is a difference between both models, and that is the design of the rear of the car there. They're completely different from each other. Now you can see that the diaphragms are much different from each other. The one on the Rapido is much more realistic than that of the Athearn. Now you can see that the details here on the Rapido are separately applied. The one on the Athearn is molded in. Now on the bottom here you can see that the detail is different and much better on the Rapido than that of the Athearn. You can see that these cables are here as well. They are not on this one, but this Rapido does have the brake hoses there along with the coupler cut bar. So here we have both models stacked on top of each other. there's something in between them, so don't freak out. They're not going to get scratched or anything like that. So if we look at both undercarriages, the one on the Athearn is pretty decently done. There's some things that are missing that the Rapido has, but the Athearn does have those tanks there, and it looks pretty decent. It's not like it's just a flat surface. So, you know, compared to the trucks, you know, the trucks on the Rapido are much better than that of the Athearn, but, you know, for the most part, they look pretty good. So as for the paint, I want to say that they both look pretty good. Now, the paint on the Rapido does seem more prototypical than that of the Athearn. The Athearn, the red is a little more, you know, deeper and darker than that of the Rapido, and the gold is a little more deeper on the Rapido compared to the Athearn. I think the Rapido does look better than that of the Athearn. Also, the overall color of the car, the one in the Rapido looks closer to the prototype than that of the Athearn. Another thing I wanted to point out is that the windows on the Athearn are not tinted. The one on the Rapido are tinted. So, you know, it's kind of nice the Rapido did go through the trouble of tinting their windows. So there you have it. Those are the brand new Rapido Trains BiLevel commuter cars. I am extremely satisfied with these cars. The light in them is just great. The details are impeccable and the paint was flawless. Nothing was broken on them. They all came intact. There was no problems whatsoever. So I'm very happy with them. For being a first-time Rapido customer, I highly recommend buying some Rapido trains if you've never bought any before. The reason I never really bought any Rapido trains before is because they really never released anything that I was looking for, anything that I was in the market for. But now that I saw these, I said I had to have them to, get a better quality version than what the Athearn provided. Even though they were very close to each other, these are the top dogs. These things are amazing. So I highly recommend these if you're in the market for some new BiLevel commuter cars. Check them out. These are incredible models. So that's pretty much it for the video, guys. If you guys liked what you saw, please like and subscribe. There's plenty of content in the future. If you guys have any comments about these or have any questions, please put in a comment down below or send me an email. You can find it in my bio of my YouTube account. So that's pretty much it, guys. Talk later. Take care and keep it tuned the rails.